Hi, for what it's worth, I'm Mike, and this is Justin. Today we're going to be talking about, for what it's worth, about wrestling.
So these last few nights we've had Raw and SmackDown, but a big upcoming event's the Royal Rumble.
Yes,
So we felt we should give you guys our opinion and then give you some predictions.
I agree. With the pay-per-view coming up on Sunday, the Royal Rumble, it had finished up last night with SmackDown and Monday Night Raw with the go-home shows to the pay-per-view. They did some, I guess, a build to on the Raw show and on SmackDown. I felt with Raw, we'll first go over Raw because it was Monday night, that it didn't really build too much for the pay-per-view as much as it could have. I mean, it did open with Brock and Paul Heyman talking about how good Finn Balor is, but he's just too small to get the job done. And then out came Vince McMahon, and as what you'd expect, he likes the David and Goliath story, and down talk Finn again because he had been talking about before. I don't know if you know that he felt Finn was too small, and after the injury with the Universal title and him against Seth, he wasn't confident to give it back to him. So Finn had been fighting about this with the people for a while, trying to get him another push. And at this time, because of the Braun incident with his elbow, or so they say, actually all along this was going to happen. They were just going to make the switch for whatever reason. That Braun would be pulled from the match, Finn would earn his way into it, and if it was possible to have the David and Goliath show for WrestleMania. But the way things fall, people getting hurt and all these things changing, it's down to the Royal Rumble. And I don't think Finn can do it. I think it's going to be Brock again. I'm kind of disappointed in that. I'd rather have a champion that is fighting every week, or at least on the show. He doesn't just go to the show, have someone else talk to him and talk for him, and just jump up and down and grin. I don't think that's a good champion. And he has 3-minute matches. What do you think?
Yeah, he definitely puts on that beast persona really well. Just at this point, the fans are kind of tired of it. I know everyone I talk to about it doesn't like the beast being non-existent. Showing up for Survivor Series, for the Royal Rumble, for WrestleMania, and SummerSlam. I mean, he held the title for over 400 days, showing up to 5 events.
Not like a real champion back in the day.
So I mean, I feel they're not gonna award it to Finn, but I don't know. They're gonna put on a really good match.
It's gonna be better than the Daniel Bryan match, that's for sure.
They're gonna show Finn as really competent, really strong. But in the end, Brock's gonna take home the belt.
Yeah, I think so. It's going to be like the last 3 from Survivor Series down where it was AJ versus Brock and Daniel Bryan versus Brock, and now Finn versus Brock. I think all 3 of those matches are probably going to run the same way. And because we've already seen the other 2, I'm not excited to see the 3rd one. I know how it's going to end. Yes, they're 3 different wrestlers, but the story's the same each time. 3 smaller guys against the Beast that don't normally face off. The Beast kills them, or at one point, the small guy will get the upper hand for a little while, some near pins, and then, as it should, the Beast wakes up and crushes him, and it's over. I see that as that's what the main event for Finn and Brock are this year, so no, it does not excite me that this match is here for that main event. But there is a lot of promise with a couple other matches. What do you see?
Well, we have the multiple title matches. You have Rusev versus Shinsuke and the Cruiserweight match on the pre-show.
Yeah, the Cruiserweight match, the Fatal 4-Way, that's going to be pretty good. I think that's going to be Hideo Itami's breakout match.
Yeah.
And I think that might push him up to SmackDown. If he doesn't win, he's going to move up, I think. But if he does, I would expect Buddy Murphy to move up. Because I think the winner of that match is going to be the champion, and the loser's going to move on to bigger and better things in the WrestleMania season.
Yeah, Tommy won a big triple threat. Buddy Murphy's interference, obviously, altered the way that match would have gone naturally. But I have to imagine Daniel Bryan cut a promo on him.
Hideo Itami.
On Itami.
Yeah.
saying he's very dangerous and that if he ever comes to SmackDown, he'll get what's coming to him. So I imagine Buddy Murphy's going to retain. Itami's going to be, he's going to look strong, look dangerous, and he's probably going to go up to SmackDown after WrestleMania.
In that Hideo Itami conversation, I believe it started off, Daniel Bryan was asked the question, is Hideo Itami dangerous? And then Daniel broke down the story saying, is he dangerous? Well, back in 2006, we were in a match and we were striking each other, and Daniel Bryan, admittedly, he lost. And when he lost, Hideo Itami broke his eardrum burst, and he can no longer hear out of that ear. And he warned him if he ever came to SmackDown, he would get what's coming to him. That to me is a hint and a clue that you're right, that Hideo Itami will either put on a great show and lose, or maybe even surprise everybody, win the Royal Rumble, and have it set up for WrestleMania. I mean, there's so many different possibilities with this show. I'm really excited about it. As far as I believe, the count is like 8 or 9 away from the 30. So those are all going to be different surprise entrants. I say a bunch are going to come from NXT. Then there's some rumors of a couple of people, like, I don't know if you heard Kabushi from New Japan, or Kotobushi, I think it is. I forget. Excuse me if I said his name wrong, but I'm not very familiar with that one yet. I watch it once in a while, and I do really love what I see down there, but it's all moving to AEW, and that's another video for another time. I love the AEW's new concept. Right. But back to this, I think if it's not Itami, it's going to be Murphy. Yeah. And that's a great match. My actual favorite match of this, it will be Asuka versus Becky Lynch. I think that there's going to be a lot of interplay between that match, SmackDown, and NXT. Those three are all going to get pulled together. And well, from Raw, Bayley and Sasha might get involved with it with... I see Ronda Rousey and her crew interfering in the Becky Lynch match, causing I think Becky to lose, but at the same time, that's going to bring down Charlotte, Sasha, and Bayley, and then it'll bring in Baszler and her other two friends from the MMA world that they had. Well, they're all three of them are in NXT. The only one that is above that was Ronda, and if you listen to her, what she's saying, her storylines, each time she gets into it with either Sasha or Bayley, or actually she didn't get it with Bayley yet, but with Charlotte, she's been saying, we're the real 4 horsewomen, but the only one up there is Ronda. So those three are gonna, and the women need people in the battle or the Royal Rumble as well. I see all of them being in there, and I almost get it to the point, if it could be done, where Becky loses the title or loses her opportunity, gets into the Royal Rumble, and now it's her and Charlotte, Sasha and Bayley all inside the Royal Rumble. I could see them interfering in Ronda's match at some point, costing her the title to Sasha maybe. Then, well, Sasha wouldn't be in the Royal Rumble, then Ronda would be. Because the other three don't know Charlotte and Bayley like Ronda has, and has interacted with them. So they would, to me, have to follow. They'd have to follow Ronda's lead, and Shayna would know who to go after. I mean, they're not dumb, but it would be more of, these are the people, go get them. And if Ronda was in the Battle Royal and Charlotte, and I could see every other person coming in, almost like War Games in NXT, where after every so minutes another team member goes in. It would be the same with the Royal Rumble. Every 90 seconds they have it now, where somebody comes in differently, and it'll be Charlotte, say Becky, onto Ronda, and then Ronda might have Shayna come in, or something along those lines. I see it like 5 or 6 entries in a row, where it could be just the 4 horsewomen of either side, the 4 horsewomen of the WWE and the 4 horsewomen of the MMA, having their first interaction during the Rumble, which would set up WrestleMania path. And as the titles for the women's with Ronda and with Asuka, who knows how that's going to change. And if it does, that's going to affect the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. And I really see this as a big opportunity. I'm excited to see that.
Yeah.
So,
well, with all that said, who do you think is going to end up winning that Women's Royal Rumble match?
That really depends on the title matches. So I'm going to have to give you those first before I can give you that one. And if you have Becky Lynch against Asuka, and the story was that Charlotte ended Asuka's undefeated streak in the WWE. And actually, if you remember, her and Becky teamed up on her first or second match on SmackDown, and that's where she got her first loss, not on a pay-per-view, was when Becky got pinned or tapped out. Mm-hmm. And she didn't win. So I could see that being a little bit more, as Charlotte is rubbing it in her face that she broke her streak, and then she has Becky there doing that too. And Asuka really taking it to Lynch. I really think Asuka's better than Becky Lynch, but Becky is not a slouch. She will give her beating. It will be really close. I think someone will interfere, namely Ronda, on Becky, causing Asuka to win, but it was going to go either way. Maybe Becky was about to make it over and then Ronda comes in, but that's where I first see that loss, with Becky not winning and Asuka keeping the belt.
Yeah.
Now, if that match is before Ronda's match, expect to return the favor and Ronda gets interfered with and Sasha wins the title. If it happens after the Ronda match, then Becky, who's already said, let me catch you on another show, she's going to interfere because during the talks on Raw with Sasha, she was saying, oh, Becky and Charlotte, they don't even care about you. And that's bringing them up and putting them in the story. I see them getting into the story. Don't put my name on your lips type of thing. Bang. And then Ronda losing. And that will be the first loss. And she'll have to get revenge at WrestleMania against Charlotte for causing that.
Right.
Or Becky, or it becomes a fatal four-way with Shayna, Ronda, Charlotte, and Becky. And maybe outside the ring you have Bayley and Sasha and the other two. I don't know. I think it's going to be all 4-on-4 maybe even, or they might save that for Survivor Series, which is a long way away. But that feud still should be hot, running from WrestleMania with all the different combinations, the types of matches they can have and stipulations. There's a lot of stuff that could be done. So that's where I see Ronda losing her title. I see Asuka keeping her title. So Ronda would be in the Royal Rumble. I see Ronda winning the Royal Rumble and then her getting her guaranteed rematch at WrestleMania because there's no more rematch clauses. So she would not get another shot. And so by winning the Royal Rumble, she then gets to face off against the champion of her choice.
Yeah.
And therefore, she may say, I want a triple threat or something, trying to raise the stakes. Because she's the winner, she can get away with pretty much anything on saying, this and that. And if it's right, the way they did Brock and they're doing Ronda the same way, they'll give Ronda whatever she wants. And that's good because Ronda is talented. I do like what she's done. But like the complaints are, she's been rushed into the title picture. She was there in it before, she really knew how to do it, kind of like getting your feet wet. She did barely do that before she's in the title match and won the title. A lot of resentment from hard workers and longtime workers happen. But now that they're working with her, they see how much she's passionate, see how much she wants to do it, and they're backing off. So now they can use that storyline, and it's not going to affect them because they got over it. And that's what Sasha came out with. So,
yeah, very long-winded answer there.
Sorry,
but we got. Back to Becky Lynch and Asuka. I feel like Asuka's gonna win clean. Just to kind of get it over with. You've talked a lot about the 4 horsewomen. I feel like that's a very real possibility. So you just want to end this Becky Lynch Asuka feud, get it over with. Becky Lynch will go into the Royal Rumble match at that point. I don't really feel she's gonna interfere in the Rousey Banks match.
No? Even though she said that. when I catch you, I'll catch you.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be something else. I know there's gonna be some sort of shenanigan in that match.
Oh yeah.
Don't know exactly what. I couldn't really pinpoint it right now. I think, in the end, I think Rousey retains, but she doesn't win. It's some sort
Disqualification
of DQ,
or something.
Some sort of
I
disqualification.
could see that happening.
Then you got Banks, Becky, Charlotte, and I'm sorry,
Bailey, Becky.
Banks, Bailey, Becky, and Charlotte all in all in the Royal Rumble, and then I see Baszler and her two goons called up, and then you'll have Rousey very interested in the match, and you'll have some sort of four horsewomen interaction there.
Do you think if Ronda is going to retain during the Royal Rumble, she would run down to cause a distraction in the Royal Rumble?
Possibly. I mean, it depends on how badly Baszler and her goons get beat, or how tough they're trying to make them look at first.
They're a tough group.
Because, right, they are a tough group. But if you have to make Rousey feel like she needs to be out there somehow.
Only if her friends are getting beat up.
Yeah.
And
I
don't see that happening.
Yeah.
They're just too good to do that.
There'll be some sort of interaction. I feel like at the end, it'll be those. Maybe it'll just be those 7.
That could be the final 7 or so. That'd be pretty good.
I feel like Carmella's actually gonna come away with that match though.
Carmella?
Yeah, she's got that number 30 slot.
Yeah.
They like to give it to them, not super often anymore, but
the number 30s, in my opinion, because I don't know the actual numbers, don't win as much as they think they should. They do win, granted, but I say more like 25, 26, that number person. They get the opportunity to win because they
at least have to fight.
Yeah, they're fighting, but they're sitting back watching the last person come in. They know they got somebody coming in. Right. They're not just all jumping on me because I'm number 30. No. So being number 25, maybe he takes a couple hits and hides under the corner, or he does it, outside the ring and jumps up when nobody's left. That kind of thing. I see that happening. But I really, are we talking the men's here or just the women's?
Just the women for now.
Yeah, I don't see that a surprise like that.
Well, there's not as many women to surprise us until they go back to the Trish Stratus. The
ton of women what do you mean? The Mae Young tournament?
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel like any of them are really going to get called up like that.
Oh, there's some great ones that were in the Mae Young tournament, which you can see on WWE Network.
But yeah, I don't know. They need to redo the Carmella Asuka feud. And I feel like doing this Royal Rumble thing would give them a chance.
But why would you want to see that again? Because Asuka's a champion, so this time she wins?
Just because the way they had Carmella beating her with Ellsworth, they made her look... They just didn't make Carmella look good, and they made Asuka look even worse in that feud.
Yeah, they did make Asuka
So they really
bad.
need to redo that and give Asuka a better shot. Carmella's no slouch, but... I mean, with our truth, Carmella does not look very strong right now either.
For what it's worth, I don't think Carmella's gonna be able to beat Asuka. No. I really didn't think she could beat Asuka in the first place, and I was kind of like, wow, she's gonna just get the belt and lose right away. And then when they had them win, I wanted to smack Ellsworth myself. I know. I wanted to go up there and smack her myself. I couldn't believe that she could beat her. But hey, that's what the excitement about WWE can be, or any wrestling, that the surprises that they throw your way. And that as a fan, I do like being surprised, and it's really hard to surprise me. I can read between the lines on all the shows. I've been watching it since 1984 when Hogan won it off the Iron Sheik, and then he started a 4-year run. That was when I first started watching wrestling, and all I knew was Hogan as the big champion and a champion for a long time. And now when they change every couple months, it's why? There's no true champion to me. And AJ was the first one in a long time to hold it over a year, and I was proud of that.
Yeah, since CM Punk, minus Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I'm not including Brock Lesnar. He didn't defend the title. Even Hogan had to defend his title every 30 days, or they were stripped from it.
Right.
And I was fortunate to live in the New England area, so I got to see a lot of matches that you haven't really seen around. Like the first King of the Ring tournament was 32 people, and it was held in Providence, Rhode Island, not on any pay-per-view. And it was surprising because we watched it, every year for a little while, but it wasn't a pay-per-view. When they put it on a pay-per-view, it actually shrunk. And we were disappointed, so what they did was put the matches on SmackDown and Raw, 1 or 2 qualifiers, and get to the final 8 on the tournament. The whole idea of the King of the Ring is having 32 people and all going through the entire night, one night, going through the gauntlet, winning 3 or 4, maybe 5 matches to win it. What is it? 4 matches, the 32 to 16, 16 to 8, 8 to 4, and 4 to 2. So 5 matches to win it all. And that's what the goal of being King of the Ring was. It wasn't to shorten it down to 8 players on one night or down to just the final 2 at the pay-per-view. There's no
the fatigue doesn't play as much of a factor.
There's no endurance, no stamina to become the King of the Ring. So to me, there hasn't been a King of the Ring since Bret Hart and Ric Flair way back. And they earned it because they did it every night. Yeah, I give a lot of the old school wrestlers a lot of props. They kept the kayfabe silent. They, made people think it was real. They worked 5-6 nights a week, sometimes twice on Sundays to go places. They really busted their ass, and they didn't get paid much. Not like what the guys now, Lesnar, 6 shows, maybe $4 million. What, 6 shows in a year? That's terrible.
Yeah.
But I give Brock a lot of props. He was able to get a contract that we only had to show up 6 times for $4 million. So, I mean, as much as I don't like it, hey, you're trying to make your money, he's getting it.
Right. So, the next match on our list is Shane McMahon and The Miz, the best in the world versus The Bar.
The build to tells me I expect Shane O'Mac and The Miz to defeat The Bar because they got trashed last night on SmackDown. And The Bar put them through a table. They left them laying outside the ring after the match and beat The Miz with Cesaro versus The Miz. And The Miz took the pin because he got hit by Sheamus while the ref wasn't looking, then put into Cesaro's finishing move there, the crania. I forget the name of that. Do you know?
We're not talking about a swing.
No, it's not the swing. It's the driver.
No, I don't know the name.
Oh, well, Cesaro's finishing move. I'll know it by later on. I'll probably pop in my head and I'll start spitting it out. I'm like, oh, this is it! All right, next one.
Well, actually, before we get to the next one, my opinion on it.
Yeah, okay.
The Miz and Shane
what
McMahon.
It's worth, tell me.
The Miz and Shane McMahon are going to pull this off. It's one of these feuds is just going to drag on through WrestleMania. They're trying to make The Miz a babyface.
Yes.
It's starting to kind of gain momentum. I also feel like Shane McMahon is going to be a heel by the end of this. So
by the end of this, meaning the end of the Royal Rumble? Or
the end of the
story?
The story, yeah.
Okay. How is that going to happen?
They're going to lose at WrestleMania.
Oh, who are they going to lose to?
Probably The Bar.
The Bar again? Okay.
It might be a triple threat at that point, though. You don't want to have the same match at Royal Rumble.
Yeah, because they can't win. They don't get an automatic rematch now.
Right. So there'll be some interesting feats in there. I don't know how they're going to do it, but The Miz and Shane McMahon are going to be the best in the world for a little while.
The best tag team in the world. Right here. Come on, Shane. Miz, we're waiting. Bring it on.
Then we have the AJ Styles Daniel Bryan match. How do you see that one going?
I'm really disappointed that Daniel Bryan won the title versus AJ in the way he did. A low blow. I mean, out of anything else, I'd be alright with. But not a low blow. Because that's just cruel and unusual torture.
That was the Shinsuke Nakamura storyline.
I know.
I don't know why they brought it back.
Yeah, the same thing. The only way heels can be, effective against AJ is hit him in the nuts. I mean, that's pretty bad. And to keep it going that way, I think AJ deserves a nice, vicious street fight with Daniel Bryan on a pay-per-view where it gets hectic and he gets a lot of payback. Even if he doesn't win, he needs to get a lot of payback, in my opinion, for the way it was done.
Yeah.
Now, I do like Daniel Bryan as a champion because he's exactly what you want, is someone you want to see lose. And I would love to see him lose against AJ, but I don't think it's happening. Not yet. AJ has bigger and better things to go with. It's called his contract is ending, and if he doesn't sign with WWE, AEW is right around the corner. We'll be more on that in another video. Now, for what it's worth, I think that AJ will lose and Daniel Bryan will retain the title.
Yeah, I don't see it going any other way. Daniel Bryan's gonna retain. It's gonna be a great match, though. It's gonna be. I don't know how long they're gonna make it because this is a 4-hour pay-per-view and.
It'll be a good 20 to 30 minutes, easy.
So, Daniel Bryan retains. The AJ Styles Daniel Bryan feud probably ends. Maybe continues on to Elimination Chamber. Obviously, it's not going to be one-on-one at that point, but we might carry on to there. Next match, the Men's Royal Rumble.
The Men's Royal Rumble.
So very quickly, who do you got?
Who do I got as the Royal Rumble? I say it's somebody new. It's not going to be the same old, no Randy, but maybe Samoa Joe. And I would not put it past Samoa Joe from winning. And I gotta say, depending on where he comes in, you know what? Samoa Joe. I think Samoa Joe is gonna win the Royal Rumble.
All right. I'm getting really hopeful here. I want The Rock to come back and win it.
Yes, I heard that rumor too, and I don't want The Rock to come back and win it. That's just like having John Cena come back and say, "But I never left if you like The Rock." Okay, you're in the movies. You're saying like The Rock. He disappeared. Yes, he loves the WWE Universe. When he's here promoting a movie or when he's here promoting something for himself, it's never about us as a fan.
No, it's not. But it's just a lot of fun to see him wrestle again. And
I can watch WWE Network and see him wrestle on their specials. I don't need him to take the spotlight from someone new that I do like a Lars Sullivan, who... hopefully he'll be able to make it to WrestleMania. That's also in our next NXT video. But I wanted to see him move up, or I wanted to see, Otis from Heavy Machinery. I like him. And so something like that to be fresh to us. And Samoa Joe still is relatively fresh because of his injuries, and he missed 2 WrestleManias due to it.
Yeah, but the big storyline I'd say is probably something like the New Day. You have the 3 teammates.
Yeah.
And that's always the big storyline going in, but I just don't see it happening. I'm getting really, really hopeful.
Yeah. The Undisputed Era.
They are possible. Yeah.
I'd like to see them in it.
I'd love to see Adam Cole up in the Royal Rumble. But I guess we'll find out on Sunday.
Yes, we will.
Thanks for watching.
And for what it's worth, leave your comments and opinions. And would gladly answer any questions you have. I know there's more things we can talk about on WWE, but we want to talk about AEW and other wrestling organizations. We'll do that in the next video. Thanks for tuning in, and always subscribe if you can, and click the bell for notifications so you'll know when our next video is going to be released. Thanks. For what it's worth, I'm Mike, and that's Justin. Have a great one.